Saturday afternoon. Every aisle crowded. Every parent exhausted. A 3-year-old girl reaches for a bright packet of candy on the bottom shelf. Her mother says no, quietly, once. The girl's face crumples. And then, something happens that stops every Western parent in their tracks. Nothing. No screaming, no throwing herself on the floor, no escalating into the kind of public meltdown that makes strangers stare and parents want to disappear into the linoleum. The girl takes one shaky breath. Her mother kneels down beside her, says something low and calm. And within 3 minutes, the girl nods, picks up her basket, walks on. If you are a Western parent, you just watched something that feels close to a miracle. Because you know what that moment looks like in your world. You know the sound of it. You know the heat that rises in your face when it happens in public. You know the desperate mental math of give in or hold firm that you run in real time while everyone around you silently judges. Here is what I want you to know. That Japanese mother didn't get lucky. She didn't have an easier child. She didn't have some genetic advantage that Western parents lack. She had a method. And by the end of this video, you will know exactly what it is and exactly how to use it, starting today. Let me tell you what most parenting advice gets completely wrong about tantrums. We treat them as behavioral problems. A child is misbehaving. The parent needs to correct the behavior. Reward the good, punish the bad, hold the line, stay consistent. And this advice is not wrong, exactly, but it is treating the wrong thing. Here is what a tantrum actually is. It is not manipulation. It is not a power play. It is not your child trying to embarrass you in public. A tantrum is a nervous system that has run out of capacity. Think about that for a second. Your child is not choosing to lose control. Their brain, specifically the prefrontal cortex that manages emotional regulation, is not yet developed enough to handle the gap between what they want and what they can have. When that gap gets too wide, too fast, the system crashes. And here's what makes it worse. In Western parenting, our instinct is to respond to the crash by either giving in, which teaches the child that crashing works, or by escalating, which adds our own dysregulation to theirs and makes the whole thing worse. We pour gasoline on a fire and then wonder why the fire grows. Japanese parents discovered something different, not by accident, not by intuition, by a philosophy that is centuries old and now confirmed by developmental neuroscience. They discovered that a tantrum is not something to stop. It is something to walk through, together.
In Japan, emotional regulation in children is not treated as discipline. It is treated as a skill. And like every skill, it is taught through a specific practice that has a name. That name is Kansha no Kokoro, written with 2 characters. The first, kan, means feeling or sensation, the raw experience of an emotion moving through the body. The second, sha, means to release, to let something move through and out without being destroyed by it. Kansha no Kokoro, the heart that feels and releases. This is not about suppressing emotion. Let's be very clear about that. Japanese parenting is widely misunderstood in the West as cold or repressive. The opposite is true. Kansha no Kokoro teaches children to feel everything fully, and then, with a parent's help,
to let it move through them like water, rather than trapping it inside where it builds pressure and explodes outward. The tantrum, in this philosophy, is not the enemy. The tantrum is the signal. It is the child's body saying, I have hit the limit of what I can carry alone right now. I need help crossing this. And the Japanese mother in that supermarket was not stopping the tantrum. She was helping her daughter cross it in 3 minutes. Here is what the neuroscience tells us, and this is the part I want you to really hear. A study published in the journal Developmental Psychology tracked emotional regulation outcomes in children across multiple cultures. The finding was stark. Children whose parents responded to distress with co-regulation, physically present, calm, attuned, developed significantly stronger self-regulation by age 5 than children whose parents either dismissed the emotion or escalated in response to it. In simple terms, the fastest way to raise a child who can manage their own emotions is to manage emotions together first. Researchers at Harvard's Center on the Developing Child describe this as the serve and return mechanism. When a child expresses emotional distress and a parent responds with calm attunement, not solution, not suppression, just calm presence, the child's nervous system literally learns from the parent's nervous system how to regulate itself. The child's brain borrows the parent's calm. Think about that. Your calm is not just helpful. Your calm is the actual medicine. And the 3-minute method that Japanese mothers use is built on exactly this biology. So what does the Japanese mother actually do in those 3 minutes? Let me walk you through it. Not as a rigid script, because Japanese parenting is never rigid, but as 3 specific moments that follow the shape of the child's nervous system, not the parent's frustration. Minute 1, presence. The moment the emotion begins to rise, not when it peaks, but when it begins, the Japanese mother moves toward the child. Not to stop it, not to fix it, to be with it. She gets physically low, eye level or below. Her body says, I am not above this. I am here, in it, with you. She does not speak immediately. This is the hardest part for Western parents. We are trained to fill silence with words, to explain, to reason, to redirect. But a child in emotional flooding cannot process language. The prefrontal cortex, the part that handles words and logic, goes partially offline during peak distress. Speaking to it is like calling a phone that has no signal. The Japanese mother knows this. She waits. She is present. She breathes slowly, audibly, so the child's body can begin to entrain to her rhythm. This is minute 1. It asks nothing of the child except to not be alone. Minute 2, naming. When the peak begins to soften, and it will soften, because all emotional peaks do, the mother begins to speak. Not to correct, not to explain consequences, to name. In a low, slow voice, she says something like, you wanted the candy so much. That feeling was very big. This single act, naming the emotion without judgment, does something remarkable in the child's brain. Researchers at UCLA found that affect labeling, putting words to an emotional experience, measurably reduces activity in the amygdala, the brain's alarm center. Naming the feeling literally turns down the volume on it. The child is not being told their feeling was wrong. They are being helped to understand what just happened inside them. And a feeling that has a name is a feeling that can be managed. A feeling with no name is just a storm with no weather forecast. Minute 3, the bridge. Now, and only now, the mother offers a choice. Not the original thing the child wanted, not a punishment, a small act of agency. Do you want to carry the basket, or shall I? Do you want to choose the fruit, or shall we do it together? This is the bridge back. A child in emotional distress has temporarily lost their sense of agency, of being a capable person who can navigate their world. The tantrum was partly about that lost feeling. The bridge restores it, not by giving in to the original demand, by offering a different door back to competence. And the child, whose nervous system has been walked through the storm by a calm presence, whose feeling has been named and therefore shrunk, whose sense of capability has been gently restored, that child picks up the basket, nods, walks on. 3 minutes. That is not luck. That is a method built on biology, practiced daily, until it becomes the shape of how a family moves through hard moments together.
I want to say something before we finish. If your child has tantrums, frequent ones, loud ones, the kind that make you dread supermarkets and birthday parties and any public space where other people can see, that does not mean you are failing. It means your child is human. And it means they have not yet learned the skill of crossing big emotions on their own. That skill is learnable. You can teach it. Not by holding firmer, not by punishing harder, not by any strategy that fights the emotion. By being the calm they cannot yet find inside themselves. By moving toward the storm instead of away from it. By staying low and slow and present, and naming what you see without judgment. By offering the small bridge back. The Japanese mothers who do this are not calmer because their children are easier. They are calmer because they stopped fighting the wave and learned how to swim through it. And every time they do, every time they walk their child through a big feeling and out the other side, they build something in that child's nervous system that will still be there at 15 and 25 and 40. The capacity to feel something enormous and survive it. If this gave you something, a different way to see that moment in the supermarket aisle, share it with a parent who needs to hear it right now. And if you want more on the hidden science of how children actually grow emotionally strong, subscribe. There is a lot more coming. See you in the next one.